I don't know, like a silent sneeze or like a silent kind of blow. I was just able to, and I was like, blowing. But now it's like a Muppet. I feel like I'm honking, and it's a car horn kind of a thing.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
It's very rare where we review a movie that, well, I've never seen when it comes to our retrospective series. I've never seen Up in Smoke. So I have a lot of opinions about this. I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad. But today we're talking about Up in Smoke. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
I am also excited to review this movie because I have seen this movie many times. It is one of the few movies that I have, and it's a DVD. I used to have a lot of DVDs in my collection. I got rid of a lot of them, and during that purge, there was that decision-making time where you had to say, what am I going to keep and what's going away? And Up in Smoke stayed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, of course, I've heard of this movie. I have seen stuff about this movie. I am not a stoner movie guy. I have seen majority of them, just not a fan of them. Them smoking pot doesn't bother me. It's just the overall stories. I just like predictable. The stoner always gets away. Okay, like been there, done that. But this is a chance for me to see The Godfather, right? The one that started it all, right? Like this is the Godfather of stoner movies, right?
This is definitely one of the bigger influential ones of the early years. That's for dang sure. This movie came out in what 1978, and
Mm-hmm.
this is Cheech and Chong's first movie after getting famous from doing stand-up routines and comedy albums. So this is their first movie, and everyone knows them to just be these stoner duos, kind of almost like a Jay and Silent Bob at their time.
Right. So of course we have to do our buddy retrospective series with these guys, right? Since these guys are the Godfathers, and here we are talking about it. I know nothing of Cheech and Chong. I don't know the history of Cheech and Chong. I don't know the history of this movie. But boy, some of the B-level actors that came on in this movie, I was smiling.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many actors were in this. Harry Dean Stanton was in this as well. He was in a deleted scene.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and because I have DVD, I got the deleted scenes.
It wasn't worth it.
He has a short little role where he plays a jail guard that tries to sell drugs.
Fair enough. So I said to you off air um, that now that I've finally seen this, I can see where all the tropes came from, right?
Absolutely.
So, which in turn is kind of interesting from this point of view because this in turn then made the movie boring and predictable for me, right? Because I've
Excuse me.
seen it, right? It's like somebody seen Scary Movie, right, and all that franchise, and then say, okay, I'm gonna go see Scream now. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
Scream will be predictable at that point.
starting
Uh,
backwards. Yeah.
right. That's what's happening for me. Like I've seen the Harold and Kumars.
Dazed and
God, the kind of
Confused,
basic
Pineapple
basic
Express, Half Baked, Friday.
Friday. The yeah, I've seen it all, and I know the tropes. It is nice to see this. I will say, critique right off the bat: Cheech and Chong are horrible actors.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
Why would you say that? First off, they are playing characters.
I know, but and I don't enjoy it.
Okay, that's up to you. But they are absolutely playing characters. That is not the real Cheech Marin. That is not the real Tommy Chong. They are playing characters that just happen to make them a lot of money.
Sure, yeah, I just don't like the character. So like Cheech, so the beginning of the movie, it's like Cheech wakes up. He's a dad. He's a parent,
No,
right, or
he's in.
something.
No, it's a lot of. This is when they could do a lot of racial stereotypes and just get away with a lot of raunchiness. He's in a Mexican house.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, all right then. So basically, a lot of illegals, when they cross the border and they don't have a place to stay, they can find just one of them needs to get something legit. Be able to, get a house, a rent, find a piece, and then they all go in there. So you could have one house, one like 3 bedroom, one bath, probably 2 bedroom, one bath even. But I don't know. This is 78, so they probably stretched out, and you could have like 20 Mexicans living in there.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. Okay,
That's
fine.
why when he
So, I
goes
mean,
out of the house, you see like there's 3 Mexicans getting their hair cut on the front lawn. It's a Mexican house.
I just thought it was the culture, like, I'm watching Boys in the Hood.
Sure.
I didn't know. No, I just what I again, I don't know what this movie is. I don't know what the plot of this movie is. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. There's really no trailers to really kind of go back and watch, really, right? So,
Yeah, they had
I
a
mean,
hard
there
time
is.
marketing this movie. How they marketed it originally was comic strips on side of bus benches.
Ah, no, and like this movie has like that. The reason why I say that like that is because this movie has like this grindhousey kind of thing to it. Like it's really really not a good movie. It's poorly shot. Like I mean, the acting overall I think is really bad. And you know how like you have like in the 30s, the 40s, and 50s when the radio host was like talking with that high pitch, like "Hey everybody," that kind of thing.
Yeah,
In the 70s films, even in Jaws, like they were like really high pitch. I mean, like whales of like talking. It's like their boom operation wasn't that great. So this movie's no better. Like this is like a trauma film. Like this is really
it's
like just cheap.
1978.
It seems cheap.
It is cheap. I
I
think
know
the
it's
budget
cheap.
was only like $1 million.
This was a million in 78.
Yeah, let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure 2
Oh my
million
god.
estimated. Yeah, because Lou Adler originally got greenlit for $1 million for the budget of this movie. He went back to the studio to ask for more. They said no, and so he fronted another 800,000 of his own money to make this movie, which was a smart move because this movie has since grossed over 100 million worldwide.
Okay. All right. It's not nothing to write home about.
It's a cult. Listen, I get it. I'm the same way with Pineapple Express. Know when that movie came out, people were like, "Oh man, it's the greatest blah 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 movie of all time." It's like this movie is not good. I did not like it at all. I thought it was dumb, and I wouldn't even put it on my top 10 list for stoner movies. I know a lot of people would, but
No, I'm
it's
gonna put it in top
I
10.
I wouldn't. Yeah, and I might sound sacrilegious for that, but as somebody who's been a long time stoner, I can tell you, you know, 10 more movies, including this one, that deserve to be on that list, and that one's not on it.
Okay, so clearly I'm showing my hand, right, by saying that I'm not a stoner movie fan. It's just because I've seen everything leading up to this movie, right? Well, you know what I mean. And it's just like, okay, I have seen this before. I've seen the tropes. We get what we get. Which one? Cheech, right? Who was in the Mexican house? He's just down on your luck bum kind of guy, right? All he does is to get stoned. Like
He's Mexican.
there's nothing. Well, yeah, there has to be more than just he's Mexican.
He's an illegal
I,
Mexican
oh,
in
he's illegal.
yeah, because later on in the movie they get deported.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Fine. So he's an illegal Mexican, but Chong is the only. Okay. Okay. So Chong's not Hispanic though, because or maybe his character's not because in this movie, his parents are rich white people.
a yes, they're very well-to-do, rich white people, famous parents, by the way. Who this the entire bit was ad-libbed,
Oh. Okay.
and I think that the dad Strother Martin in this, he cracks me up in this. I don't know, just the way he overreacts. Overreacting usually gets a charge out of me, where he's just when will you get a job? I'm gonna
So
send you off to
so
military school like that Finkelstein kid, shit kid, son
So
of a
so so
bitch.
clearly the director was just like, all right, you are a very angry dad, and you're going to take a military school. Go.
There was a lot of liberties for a lot of these actors. I know that you said you've identified a few of them, but the parents in this were, for their time, pretty famous. They were pretty busy in like the 50s and the 40s. Strother Martin, you might know for being the captain in Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of people in this. I just don't see it. You know, and that's not me playing a character or a bit. This is just me saying I just don't see it. Like, you know, so like Chong
It does
is.
help to be very high watching this movie.
I'm assuming so because I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've always been a beer guy, you know that. So I just don't get it. Like, this is a movie about smuggling beer. Maybe I would get it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
how do you feel about Beer Fest?
Well, see, that's the thing. I freaking love Being Fast.
Aha.
You know, I really know that's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie, but it's like a guilty pleasure
There you
movie.
go.
You know?
To each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Chong just is a kind of a what, like just an unmotivated rich kid, right?
Is he a rich kid? Like that's my question too. Because this is because of his ethnicity. I'm not saying those words right.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. Like his parents are white.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, is he adopted?
Bend and scoop like the Mexicans.
Is
Sorry,
he Mexican?
I could quote all day this movie. No, no, he's not. He's not supposed to be. At least I don't think. He's just again a kid that who is unmotivated, doesn't want to do a job. He wants to be in a band. He's a drummer, and yeah, he's rich. His dad has a Rolls Royce, and he takes the grill off the Rolls Royce and puts it on his VW instead.
And he gets like lost on the beach, you know. And this is where the two
He sleeps
meet.
in a
Right.
ditch. Yeah.
This is where the two meet, and they bond over what dog poop weed in the car. He's
This
like,
is
man, did you smoking dog poop?
This is the iconic scene that we talked about Wayne's World and how their car scene was iconic, and this I would say is far more iconic, just
This is
because.
iconic.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's them meeting and doing their traditional Cheech and Chong bit, where it's just this is how it works. At least in my personal experience, when one guy's just like, "Hey man, I got something we can smoke, man. It's a joint, you know. That's not a joint. It's a toothpick, man." And it's like, "Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it is a toothpick. Okay, well let me get the other joint." And he gets that little springy thing, and Chong is like, "Oh man, all right, I got something. I got the good stuff." And he breaks out that huge, whatever that Chonger is what it's actually known in the culture now. A big
Oh,
old
this is a thing.
yeah. So in their heyday of selling their records and albums, and this is a big part of it, they had included a monster rolling paper in the inside part of the album, the record of the 35 or whatever they were selling, and 45 or whatever, I don't know, and you could with that giant rolling paper roll a joint like that, a quarter pounder.
That would kill you.
Nah, it just put you to sleep.
Would it? My
If you
God.
smoked all of that, I think the worst it could do is probably put you to sleep or give you some bad
And
cotton mouth, especially because half of it is Labrador.
yeah, Labrador poop, right?
It's mostly Maui Wowie, but some of it's Labrador.
Okay. So I'm just gonna flat out say it, right? So somebody who doesn't enjoy stoner movies but is understanding and respects the Godfather that this is, I am still roll my eyes though, right? Because of Chong, right? Chong is really annoying for me. Like his "Come on, man," and "What are you doing, man?" And it's just like, oh my God, you can make a drinking game out of every time he says "man." You get
No,
drunk.
because that would kill you. Hold on a sec. Let me bring up the movie uses the word man 295 times.
Do you even know Chong's name, or is it just man?
It's through some research, people found out that it's Anthony Stoner because in the beginning, his dad calls him Anthony, and when he pulls out, the vanity plate on the Rolls Royce says Mr. Stoner. So presumably he'd be Anthony Stoner, but he's credited as man.
Man, you're right. Like, I will tell you the part of the movie, which is in the beginning, right, where I like where my arms start to fold a little bit, which is where they get super baked on this dog poop weed.
They clam bake the car.
And yeah, and then they're like stuck like in the middle of the road, like on this little island thing, right? And then the cops are there, right? And
Pull
it's just
off, yeah. And he's, how's my
right,
driving, man?
yeah, and it's like I'm really annoyed, honestly, because I'm just like, okay, what's the plot of this movie? Like, is Cheech and Chong gonna escape Guantanamo Bay? Like, what's going on? Like, this is really stupid.
It's them just being idiots, taking drugs and getting away with everything. Because yeah, this part when he gets super baked and there's pulled over on the side of the road and Cheech is just lit. You know, eyes rolled back and everything. How's my driving, man? I think we're parked, man. And he starts freaking out, which does happen when you. That's the closest I can imagine to being overdosing on weed. To be honest, did you get like a kind of like a panic attack?
That doesn't sound like that's good.
No, but what happens when you drink too much alcohol?
You go to sleep.
Uh-huh. That's happens every time. You don't like throw up or get alcohol poisoning or anything.
No, because I don't bring myself to that point.
Okay. But for the general public, not for a professional
Yes.
like yourself, sir.
Thank you. I
Yes,
appreciate
yes.
being called a professional. Yes.
So he's freaking out, and Tommy Chong says, "Oh, hold on, man. I got something that'll mellow you out, man." Which, by the way, I'm
Right.
laughing because he's just, "Hey, mellow out, man," yelling at him, and he's like, "Here, take these." And Cheech takes them, and as soon as he does, he's like, "Oh, wait, don't take those, man."
That happened twice in this movie. Like, I mean, like, was that how it was in the late 70s where it's like, take this, and people are like, okay, and they're like, oh man.
In that culture, that hippie culture, because these are hippies, you
Are
know,
they hippies?
yeah, they are absolutely hippies. And that's just the California culture right there. Again, they're California dreaming. Keep that in mind. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like, this happened twice. It was like, don't take that. And it happened again at the end. It was like, oh, I gave him the wrong stuff. And it's just like, really? Okay.
Well, the other time was when the chick gave Chong a bunch of stuff, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right at the end when she was like, it's uppers. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, and that's just how it was. There's not like any good way to label anything. You're hiding everything.
So are you saying that, for a square like me, that this was the culture then and the culture now when it comes to weed culture, right? It's just like this ridiculously overhyped, or is this weed culture but like shown through
It's
a window of nonsense?
well, weed's a gateway drug, right? And as again a high schooler watching this who was going through it, I was in the same ballpark as they were, where anything that was offered, there's a good chance I would probably take it. Some limitations. Obviously, drugs are a little, well, they're much scarier now than they were back then. But still, not everything is with its side effect, right? But back then, I think it was just more, uh, just a way of the lifestyle, right? Especially when because hitchhiking isn't a thing now, and hitchhiking was very popular back in those 60s and 70s. So, and that's it
Yeah, I
happens a lot in
guess.
this movie as well too.
Yeah, for me, like I've never been known on a personal note. I've never been known to like get plastered on beer, right? I just drink beer to just kind of chill out. But like, I can proudly say that I smoked weed once and I hated it. I've never done it since. That was when I was 18. Like, I just hated it.
Sure.
And I don't like mind altering stuff. So I guess the look of disgust on my face is not because I'm actually disgusted by these people. It's the look of disgust of why do you want to alter your mind? You know what I mean? It's like because I can't understand not being in control.
Oh,
If
sure.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
So
usually
like,
just people looking for an escape or just looking to party because they're bored with with their life. That's basically what it is. But in this movie, same with like Half Baked, I would say, where Hollywood likes to depict this very weird stereotypical effect that drugs have, that it's not normally the case.
Right, right. It's embellished, of course.
Yeah, so if you're a first time smoker and you're like just getting into it, you're gonna get that giggly high, kind of like what Cheech was in that car right there. But if
Right,
you're a long time smoker, after a while, I mean, smoking ain't nothing. You get a little buzz and then you just go about your day and you can function normally. Yeah, I was surprised in my later years to discover, getting to know people, how many at work take like an edible in the morning, or they go on break and they smoke like a mini joint or something like that in on their break time, their lunch break, and it's just you, really,
right.
the engineer, the one with the doctorate. It's so weird, but again, part of this culture where
Okay.
again, I think they're just playing their characters. Same with like, dude, where's my car?
Right,
The
which is
dumb
another
stoner.
terrible movie. Yes. Like, okay, so look, like I am not giving my Parker rating right off the. I'm not doing
I think
that,
it's pretty
right?
obvious already, but
No, no, it's not because. Well, how about this? I'll spoil this part. I'm gonna give it higher than what I would normally give, just because of what it is.
sure.
Because I do respect the things that have come after that. You know what I mean?
This inspired Beavis and Butthead.
Sure. No, I that's why I'm going to give it higher than what I would normally give. Like, if we were reviewing a half baked or a grandma's boy, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like I would give, I'm giving it higher. But so no point intended.
real
The
high,
only
man.
the only part of the movie that actually got a laugh out of me, to be honest with you, is after they got arrested and they go to the judge and the judge is pouring water into her mug or whatever, and Chong is, I don't know, cotton mouth or whatever the heck is
No,
going on when he's
dude.
coughing.
So in that car scene, which again is hysterical to me because Cheech is just oblivious to the cops that are pulling him over, and he has, license. Where's your license? He's like, isn't it back there on the bumper, man?
Yeah, that part was funny.
And the entire time while he's interacting with the cop, Chong is downing everything that he has. You can see him
Right,
just kind of sneaking and putting it in his hand and just swallowing, just really taking everything, which
right.
is ridiculous. My favorite part is when he finally gives his ID to the cop and Cheech goes, "Hey man, I just thought of something funny. Your mama."
Really? No, I thought it was funny when they were in court and then Chong was still tweaking from the drugs. And then he took a drink and he was like, "Man, that water's vodka, man."
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense. Like that's what got a laugh out of me, to be honest with you.
So that sets the tone of the movie that they got a lucky break.
Right. So I'm like, oh, okay. So after they, the drug, the
They get let off on a
judge.
technicality there.
You're right, because the judge is an alcoholic, so now they're out, right? And then this is where they go to Cheech's friend's house, Strawberry, right after battling a xenomorph. What the freak is Dallas doing here? No, this came out in '78, right? So the next year he's battling a xenomorph.
Yeah,
Like,
apparently it was like a chance thing. They met at some sort of LA thing, or I don't know. They asked them to do it. Tom Skerritt came on next day, not knowing what he was getting himself into, and did shot that in like a day or two.
it was hilarious. Like, because I'm just like, okay, so I don't know a lot of Tom Skerritt films, right?
Sure.
But I respect him because it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So to see him pre Alien was shocking.
Yeah, looking like that. Yeah.
Looking like that with the I love Cheech. He was like to Chong. He was like, "Hey man, don't look at his birthmark, man."
Yeah.
He was like, "Okay, all right." And he has this big birthmark.
Now, yeah, it wasn't like the Austin Powers where he's mully type of thing, but
Well, that's where Austin Powers gets it
he's
from.
obviously looking at the mole, and Tom Skerritt's like, "You got a problem, brother?" He goes, "No, man, no." And he looks at Cheech. He's like, "I wasn't looking at his mole, man."
I wasn't. Yeah,
I wasn't looking at his neck, man. That's what it is, something like that.
but we find out why this is going on, right? Why they're going to Strawberry's house to hang out, get high, whatever.
Score some smoke.
Stacy Keach, out of my favorite sitcom Titus and American History X station, Stacy Keach comes in looking like he does in those, but also younger.
Looking
And
fit.
I'm so let me talk to you about Stacy Keach. So for longtime fans of the show, we interviewed Zach Ward like 6 years ago, dude.
Been a
Like
while.
a long time ago. And Zach Ward was clearly on our show to talk about his current projects, but I wouldn't let him because all I would talk to him about was Titus. And
You got the man on there. Hey, at least we did talk to him about Christmas Story, right?
right. And he was telling us stories in the episode. It's a great episode. Check it out. But just go to movieguyspodcast.com, Zach Ward episode. But this is Titus's dad, right? I mean, like Stacy Keach.
Oh yeah.
He's fit, but he has that face of a hard drinking 70s man. Like
Oh yeah.
he has that face. And he is the head of this drug sting operation where the Mexican cartel is going like they're bringing weed over the border, but they make the whole van become weed.
He's at first scoping out Strawberry's place, and they raid that place, which
Right,
again Cheech and Chong get lucky to get out of
right,
because Chong was able to get out of the house during the raid, and then also during the raid, Cheech comes up with a pretty good idea where him and his Mexican friend, brothers, cousins, whatever, come in as repo men and
right,
take out some stuff. So they get away with that. The next
right,
scene, they talk about how Sergeant Stadenko is Stacy Keach's character, and his team are getting a scoop on a big bust that could be coming in. And he explains what fiber weed is, where they
it
extract the weed from the seeds, they turn it into a liquid, they synthesize the liquid into a plastic, which then goes into a spray, and that, gentlemen, is called fiber weed.
totally naive. Is that a thing?
Sure.
Or is that made up?
Oh, what the actual?
Fiber wheat, like the actual fiber wheat, is that a thing?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, sure it could be, but the money that it would take to do that is probably not worth the time and effort to just traffic the weed over.
Mm.
And who's gonna buy weed that used to be a car?
I don't know.
No,
Stoners.
I would imagine that it's just for the movie.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it was a thing. So now Stacy Keach is on the tail of Cheech and Chong. So I have one eye on the movie and I have one eye doing another thing. But like Cheech goes to this drug cartel place not to pick up the truck, but he goes there to take a crap, right?
They get deported.
They get deported, but
They because that whole thing was them trying to find weed and they couldn't find weed, and Strawberry bailed out on them, yada yada, and so they eventually got weed from Curtis, the local pimp. You know,
okay.
I know Curtis, yeah, and I like Curtis, and uh, Curtis sells him the weed that'll put a hump in a camel's back, and it's some dirt, as we all know, and yeah, and they're at home and they're smoking and they're just like, well, this isn't anything. Then they realize that it's the Migra and they're being deported, and they willfully go because uh, Cheech has a cousin that's getting married in Mexico, and they call the Migra or immigration on themselves. So that way they could get all deported because it's cheaper. They all get a free ride to Mexico and a free meal out of it too. And so then they all go to Mexico for the wedding. So yeah, they do that. We don't see obviously the wedding scene, but this is explained.
Right.
And his plan to get across the border is that he calls another friend, cousin, whatever, who has an upholstery shop and says, "I need you to smuggle some upholstery back over the border." So they go to the upholstery shop, and it's ends up being a van made out of fiberweed. And yeah, he has to poop.
Literally.
He has to poop because they ate street burritos.
Okay. I mean, as you can see, my attention span is.
That's okay. Listen, I didn't have to rewatch this movie. I could have told you it all by heart without having to rewatch it, but I did anyway because I love this movie.
Fine. I also lied to you. So I told you that the movie got one laugh out of me. The movie got a second laugh out of me. So they're in the weed van, right?
Yeah,
And they're going to the border. We get the border patrol, right? And they got a bunch of nuns, and they're smoking that gigantic joint again
the
that you were
chonger.
talking
Yep.
about, the chonger. And Chong throws it into the nun car, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the nun doesn't realize it, right? But then, oh my God, I'm burning, right? And then all the border patrols like, she's got the chonger, man. Like this is happening,
It sounds
right?
like a
So
bust.
then, right, and then they put all the nuns, which I couldn't believe they got away with this, but they put all the nuns up against the glass, and they were frisking the nuns, and the nuns were all kind of like really enjoying the
They're all
frisking.
loving it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, "Whoo!" And I was like, I was laughing.
I
I was.
at this part too. This is to Stacy Keach's credit. Why I love this character so much. He plays it.
Yeah.
Dude plays Sergeant Sedenko because he's being interviewed by the local news at the border, and there's a part
Right.
when she asks him, "Do you hope to see, or do you expect to see any violence today?" And he goes, "Oh, I sure hope so." And it's just
Yeah.
the way he sells it, so straight faced and just quick with it. And I love this character. He's just so good.
I loved him when she also said in the same interview, she's like, "Have you ever smoked weed?" He's like, "Once," kind of thing. And it was
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
he's like, I smoked a joint once at Ralph's house back in 1965, so I know what these guys think. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That kind
Yeah. One of
of. Right.
these tight, wadded kind of cops, man, who just yeah.
Right. And then we get that chase on the expressway too, where the cops just cannot get on the ramp where they need to be, and then Cheech and Chong pick up one really attractive woman and another one that just woof.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. And like, I mean, these girls were going to see a battle of the bands or a concert or something.
That's right.
Uh, but it was a long time with these girls, which I kind of felt annoyed. It reminded me of the Jan Silent Bob Strikes Back scene when they picked up the hitchhike girls, but they were something else.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
were, yeah, that kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, sure. And they end up having a lot of drugs. Uh, and they also abide by the rule of the road for hitchhiking, which we all know is gas, grass, or ass.
Gotcha. So that's why we had to get the gratuitous sex scene.
So the blonde goes back to hook up with Cheech, and the other girl gives Chong all the drugs. Some Quaaludes.
I'm so glad we're reviewing this, man. This movie sucks. It's just I don't understand it, man.
I think it's just out of your time, or out of our time, really.
No, it's not right because there's tons of old movies that I love, right?
Well, yeah,
That
those
are
are
hot.
bigger budget movies, though. This is like I said, this is Dude, Where's My Car, 1978.
Yeah, but I don't like Yeah, but
This
I
is
don't like
Super
that movie
Troopers
either.
in 1978.
Okay, so controversial opinion. I'm not really a fan of Super Troopers.
Should I keep on going for other
No, I'm
Grandma's
just.
Boy? I
But
know you like that one.
no, I don't like Grandma's
You
Boy.
love Grandma's Boy.
I don't
You
like
don't
Grandma's.
stop talking about Grandma's Boy, and you have a poster next to your bedroom.
I do.
There it is. Grandma's Boy, everybody. It's Jordan's lying to you. He has it autographed.
It's not my bag, baby. I don't know. So then, like, we get to the concert, and like Chong like doesn't want to go on because like all the bands are like just bombing, right? Like I mean, this crowd is horrible. So then, so that one girl gives them uppers, but they're not uppers. And all of a sudden, I go pee and I come back, and Stacy Keach is dressed as a monk with the other cops. I'm like, oh my god, what is happening now?
Yeah, they're obviously still trying to trail him, and they have this nice visual bit where the cops are, moving seats in the car because of how much they piss off Sergeant Stadenko. And one of the cops, Harry, shoots out their own tire.
Right,
Harry, you are a stupid, stupid man. Oh god, I love it so much. Yeah, eventually they catch up at the Battle of the Bands. How they get there, I forget. Probably by car, of course. But ting.
right,
But they go into their stakeout van, like a laundry van, and they see the Hare Krishna kind of parading around, and they
right.
think, "Oh, that'll be a good way for us to get in." And so they lure them into the van, take their clothes, and then try to uh, chant their way into the concert for free.
Right, and the bouncers were like, "You got to have a ticket," and they're like, "Okay, okay, okay. We're not monks. We're cops." And the bouncers were like, "Well,
So,
still, you need a
sorry,
ticket.
man. Yeah, gotta have tickets.
Got to have tickets to get into this place."
The real heroes of
Uh,
the movie, by the way.
are the
Those
bouncers?
bouncers doing their job.
I guess. And then Chong is just so incredibly wasted. He can't play. Cheech comes out wearing booby tassels and a skirt.
And a tutu, actually.
Oh my god! And
So
then
the big problem is that the band that they had only just gotten together and they've only rehearsed twice. They have no material, they have no songs, so they don't know what they're gonna do. So while they are waiting to go on stage, Cheech had been writing material for the song initially that they go on for.
right.
Yeah. So that's
But still, though, I mean, like he goes on, he does this thing. I just okay. So
well
what annoyed? Oh.
well you know what gets them up though, right?
Right, which is another thing that just kind of rolls my eyes, right? So Van's covered in weed, outside and in, and the tailpipe, is that right? Is too hot, so it catches fire.
No, earlier before they had like hit a pothole or like they went over a curb or something like that and it bottomed out and it hit the gas tank. And so they had been driving and the car had been kind of leaking a bit
Oh,
and
that's
from the heat, obviously from the exhaust would it heated up. And so the time when they were on their way to Battle of the Bands and they got pulled over by the motorbike,
at the
uh,
motorbike cop.
and the
Yeah,
motorbike cop got high because he was tailing them and obviously getting blasted in the face with all that weed.
right. And he was just like, "Do you guys have a hot dog?"
You guys, yeah, exactly. What do
He's
you
just like,
want?
"All right, see you later." You know, and then of course all the smoke, all the pot from the van infects the
It,
Stacy Keaton gang.
yeah, it catches on fire because it was illegally parked and it was being towed by the cops who found the van and they were pulling it out. And yeah, they were stopped as they were towing it by the two criminals. I don't know if this is a detail that's not really shown brightly in the movie, but when Cheech and Chong were in the upholstery shop, there were two men who were suited, who were wearing suits, and they
Right,
were most likely the drug dealers or the kingpins. And I think the Cheech and Chong were the wrong drivers.
right,
They went to this
obviously.
one. They went to the wrong upholstery shop, and they got the wrong van,
Right,
obviously. And so they're not only being trailed by the cops, but they're being trailed by these two guys. To which
right.
eventually, at the Battle of the Bands, the cops were towing the van out. They get stopped by the drug dealers who were just like, "Hey, wait a minute!" And then the cops are like, "Well, do you know who we are?" And they had that confrontation, and then they arrest the two guys.
Hmm.
And as they're waiting for backup, there was a guy outside smoking, and he walks away and he throws his cigarette onto
Right.
the pool of the gasoline, which starts the
Ignites
car.
it.
Yeah, which starts the car on fire, and and everybody gets high.
Right, and then like Stacy Keach and the gang get high, and then like the crowd of the Battle of Bands are just jerks to be jerks, and then somehow magic weed, the smoke of the weed, comes from the parking lot outside of the venue into the air filtration system of the place, and gets everybody baked instantly to love the band.
Yeah, yeah, it perks Tommy Chong right up, and they get to rockin' playing an awesome song.
Right, reminds me of Bill and Ted too.
Yeah, or maybe some Tenacious
Right,
D.
never seen that movie.
You ever seen Pick of Destiny?
No, no, I'm not a Tenacious D fan.
Okay, well, yeah, that's okay. That movie bombed, so I guess nobody was.
Not a Tenacious D fan. I like some of the tunes, not majority. Um, and I mean that's it, right? I mean
That's
there's
it.
some others. Yeah, that's it. And it's like I don't want to repeat myself. I'm trying not to, but like knowing that we were gonna review this movie, like behind the scenes here, fans, like this schedule of a retrospective series is done like almost a year in advance, right? Would you agree?
We planned for the retrospective pretty well, yeah, and in far in
Yeah,
advance.
and it's like maybe not a year, maybe like 6 months, but I mean like, but we'll be planned. So then when we decided we are going to do this movie was a big red flag for me because I'm just like, okay, I've never seen it. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Um, so it's like, how's my review of this going to be, right? And like I said, man, I had like one eye on the screen, one eye on something else, because once the movie started, I knew what I was getting. So I knew if I stepped away to go to the restroom or make myself something to eat or something like that, I would come back and I would still be able to follow what is going on. Like so
To a
like the
certain
movie.
level, yeah.
Right. So it's like so I was doing a lot of that in between. But it was fun to see, Tom Skerritt in this. It was fun to see Stacy Keach in this. It was fun to see actors that I know.
Sure.
It was fun. So I guess for my overall popcorn rating, um, again, this deserves a higher rating for what it is. I will give it a medium.
Okay.
I give it a medium for the status of it. You know
Sure.
what I
That
mean?
that's
Like
fair.
you're right. Like if somebody says to me, "Hey, I want to check out Stoner flicks. What do you recommend?" I recommend A, B, C, D, but this is the Godfather of it. Like this is the movie that started all the things that you're going to see. I finally seen it. I respect it for it. I don't necessarily like it, but I get it.
They had 7 movies.
None of them, so like Bond movies, right? Like none of them like continue a story, right? Like they're just.
No, this has 2 sequels.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
This has Nice Dreams and Still Smoking. Is
So this is a
is
trilogy.
is hold on. Cheech and Chong's next movie might be the sequel of it as well too, but they've had a lot of movies. And again, they're just playing their characters. They have an off-ball one where it's called Cheech and Chong, the uh, the Corsison brothers. Might be saying that wrong, but that like I mentioned that one before. That one's just a weird one where they're like medieval.
Oh God, really?
They're kind of parroting film in that movie, as I think
Okay,
they start doing with all the other ones. They just start kind of doing parodies, almost like a Wayne's brother kind of a thing,
okay,
but
fair
not
enough.
completely. Wayne's brothers are very parody heavy.
Right.
Where I think they're just kind of doing it as more of a slight and more of like a stoner spin on it. But yeah, they've had a lot of movies. I would say this is the one. This is their top, and they could never top it. This was
Right.
the big one. So I would
Now,
agree with you on the influence.
now, art imitates life here, right? Didn't like Cheech and Chong both got arrested multiple times for weed, or is that just like an urban legend?
John got arrested more recently for selling paraphernalia, doing bongs over state lines or something like that. I
So
think
like
right.
bogus charges. It's like stupid charges.
Yeah, whereas Cheech, I'm pretty sure remained clean. In fact, he quit weed for the longest time.
So they actually did smoke weed, like in real life. So like, so art was imitating life then a little bit.
Yeah, it sounded like everybody was smoking weed in the industry back then, but I'm like 90% sure, 95% sure that Cheech quit in like the 90s and did all the through the 2000s, and he did like a lot of television.
Right, he did. He was like in Nash Bridges for like a long time. Remember that? He was like Nat. Remember that Nash Bridges?
Yeah, he was in that. He was.
He
I
was
thought he
like the
was in like.
sidekick.
Yeah, that's what. Because he was in. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look up some other stuff too. Yeah, he was in Nash Bridges. I thought he was in. Well, like Tracy Takes On, like Tracy Ullman. Yeah, basically just like comedy stuff. Uh,
Right.
oh, he's in Mind of Mencia, Grace Anatomy. I thought he was in like a cop show.
That was Nash Bridges.
Uh, that was. I thought it was. Oh, they had a reboot. I thought it was like an NCIS or something like that. But you're probably right. It's
No,
probably.
no. It was Nash Bridges. He was in. I can't believe I bring that up out of nowhere. No,
You're right. It was Nash Bridges completely.
it's just the stereotype, right? That these two guys were stoners in real life. That's
It's
not necessarily true.
it's that thing where these two comedians made a character, and the character got bigger than they were. Kind of
Sure.
like Andrew Dice Clay, you know.
Yeah, yeah, like the boom, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm sure there are many other characters who passed who the real person was,
Right.
and you just can't escape it. Everywhere you go, you're playing that. Basically, I don't know. Uh, I want to say like a lot of TV stars do that too, where maybe everyone from The Office or everyone from like Friends, where no
Right.
matter
You
what
can't
they
escape it.
do, they could try, uh, and they could get close to succeeding that. Maybe like Courtney Cox playing Gail Weathers, but even that's a character that's now going into your seventh movie here.
Right. Which she may not be. Okay, so I give this a medium because of what I said with it, right? Where it's
Sure.
like it's nostalgic. I get it. It's the Godfather of a stoner movies. What's your rating for Up in
My
Smoke?
complete bias is giving us a large bag for sure, but you have to understand is that this movie, as I've already explained, has a deep part in my life. I remember when first starting to smoke weed in high school. It was going over someone's house, and we got like a little bag of something,
Right.
and we'd go out to the backyard or behind the house or whatever and smoke, and we would watch a movie. And a lot of the times, it was usually a done comedy because action movies and movies that are like thinking man movies, those will put you to sleep.
Okay.
It's too much. You want something to where you don't need to think, where your brain is completely turned off. And this movie is just that. Just like you said, you can half watch it, and the dumb jokes and the dumb situations that they put themselves in are going to be enough to get you through to the next one. It's harder to watch like The Matrix uh, when you're stoned because you have to be like, wait, what happened? What world are they in? Are they? It's a lot to follow. You have to remember a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a movie like this, or like, dude, where's my car? I know we said that, or like Dazed and Confused, maybe. Uh, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, kind of Harold and Kumar. Those you don't have to think; those are just bit. Move on to the next scene. Bit. Move on to the next scene. Bit, and it just keeps on rolling through over and over again in different parts. And that's why this movie works. I understand that the story is weak. I understand that production is very low budget. I understand that this movie is only 85 minutes, which is
Perfect.
yeah, it's good enough for me. It's great for the attention span of a stoner, that's for sure. Yeah. Whereas something like Fear and Lonely Las Vegas, which is like what 2 something hours, and uh,
But this is more of like an LSD movie, though.
that's just like a drug movie kind of a thing, right?
Right.
But yeah, you have to. So like one of excuse me, I would say that my favorite stoner movie is not this movie. It's How High. It's absolutely How High.
Now, see, I actually enjoy How High. I
Yeah,
mean, I really thoroughly enjoy How High. I think that movie's
I
hilarious.
think it meets all the same criteria. Hour and a half, dumb bits. Just move on. Say the joke, move on to the next one. Say the joke, move
Sure.
on to the next one. Do some smoking scenes. Do some funny little dances here and there, and then move on to the next one. And it works. It probably was inspired by this. But yeah, as much as like the movie critic in me would agree with you that this movie is a medium at its best, especially compared to a lot of other movies, stoner movies that have come out since then. But I have a deep personal bias with this movie, and I have to give it a high,
Nice. Pun intended.
a high bag, a large
Right, yeah. A large with some butter.
and a joint on top.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not for me. That's this, like I said before, that's the square in me. I don't see it. But then I'm crazy, right? Because then I like movies like How High. I don't know, maybe How High just hits differently, right? I don't know,
But this is where
but
the generational thing comes in, right? Because like Half
right,
Baked is also like another 82 minutes. And
right,
that kind of speaks to a generation here. That's we can relate to that time.
right. With this one, I can't relate because now this is more of a stereotype.
Yeah, especially now that weed is legal in basically every state now, and a lot of these
Basically,
movies are about them trying to dodge the police because of their illegal activity.
right, and then also the stereotype of Hispanics, and everything else. Like, come on, man! It's just all that stuff. It's just it's different. It's a different world. But doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm glad I've seen it. I would have never seen it without Movie Guys podcast, so I'm glad I did. I'm never gonna see it again. Uh, but I
I usually
do
watch it every
respect.
year for 420, which is the week that we're recording this, by the way. It's a holiday movie.
Yes, it's a holiday movie, but at least it is what it is. It's stupid fun. If you've seen it, then you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, check it out. But it is what it
And
is.
you can
Eric,
miss all the other movies, by the way. You can just check out this one. I didn't tell
Eric.
you, but like I know you're wrapping up, but like Sergeant Stacy Keach reprises his role in Nice Dreams.
Okay, so there's a trilogy
He
involved.
he comes back, and it gets dumber because in that one he still plays the same character who's like a stoner now, and I think he got like some sort of tainted weed and he's slowly turning into a lizard.
Oh my God. Okay, so now it's getting really stupid at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if because there was that whole rumor that the government uh would put had tracker weed. They put
Oh,
they spike the weed so they can track to different areas, and I think that was a little bit of a parody on that.
oh my! I did not know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, I remember. Some kids get paranoid and they go into the bag and it's like, you see this right here, and it's like it's really what it is like a part of the stem or a stem that was like stripped into like a ribbon, and they're just
Okay.
like, see this? This is what the government puts in here to track you, man. And it's just like, yeah, yeah. The government has spent billions of dollars to track a group of 16-year-olds who were able to pool together $30 to get a bag of this. This is money well spent. Good job, Brent. I'll call you out by your name.
Oh my God! I can't believe it.
Just ruining my high, man. Jeez, it's like shut up. But
Fair,
yeah, that's yeah. It's we just the stupid things to you.
fair enough. Well, thank you everybody for listening to this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can check us out at Movie Guys Podcast at podbean.com. We have a new episode every Thursday. And also make sure to check us out on Instagram because we do have some fun little stories here and there. So everybody can check those out as well. Eric, thanks so much for joining me. We'll be back next week for another awesome episode. Have a good night. This is a video of a guy videotaping his dad every time his dad gets up. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just listen.
Funny that. No, some of those clips are from Dragon Ball Z for sure.
No, it was a dude
Yeah.
videotaping his dad. It's that. That's me. Like, every time my wife's like, "Hey, can you get down here and fix whatever?" It's like, yeah.
It definitely happens a little bit more at the end of the day for me. Not getting up, because when you get up, you just do the just kind of like the pick me up. But when I sit down, it's how like the body allows for some suspension. Just like as you're going down to the chair. Here you're watching me on camera, so I'll give you an example. So like before, it
Yeah.
was a nice squat. Younger
Yeah.
Eric would be able to just do this and ease into the chair.
Ease.
And now I'm falling into it every time. Like I'm gonna break the damn thing. We're just like halfway right about here, where you just go, oh,
and then you do a little belly rub for no reason.
and then the feet. I take the corns and I just rub them on kind of anything that I can find that's on the ground. Maybe a tennis ball, which I had around here for a little bit. I have a roller chair, so one of the legs sticking out of that. I'll just apply some pressure onto that.
Cornville down to Bunyan country.
Oh, it feels good. Sometimes I'll just take the sock off and I'll just put it on metal, nice cold metal for a hot foot. Let that steam up a little bit. Just